Hey, hey, what up, good people? It's your man, Strength by Staff. I got another special guest coming through, one of my sisters. She was one of the phenomenal track athletes at UNC, Chapel Hill, Lashawn Gee. Go ahead and give a background, who you are, what you do. Let the good people know who you are.
Well, first, I want to thank you so much for having me. This is the dopest movement concept. I'm grateful. Thank you. What's up, great people? My name is Angie. I'm a teacher full-time by trade, and I also own the company LG Wellness Solutions, where I am a discipline and mindset coach for female student athletes, helping them to get focused, activate discipline, and go after the goals that matter to them in the season of their lives.
Dope, dope, dope. I love that. So we came together. Like I said, LaShawn's a real close friend of mine. I've been knowing her, about 7, 8 years now.
Mhm.
So I've been looking at her. She's been a phenomenal influence in my life. She got great personality, great person to be around in general. And so we want to go ahead and talk to our athletes. Like I said, she deal with a lot of female athletes. I deal with a lot of athletes in general. We want to talk about the importance of opportunity and preparation and doing the right steps to make sure you prepare for your competition. So that's one of the topics I want to talk about today. And then, like, having you been a phenomenal track athlete back in your day, even though they went too far ago, she's still young, people, so don't worry about it. I just want you to go ahead and give, quick little steps you should lead up to. Cause like I said, you ran tracks. I know every sport's a little bit different, but what was some of your preparations to compete in that high level of competition?
Well, the one thing that hands down, as long as I implemented it,
Hmm.
that worked for me was really getting my mind right. I think as in sports in general, you worry about your competition. You worry about your teammates. You want them to do well. You worry about your own competition. You worry about if you have practiced enough throughout the week, if you learned what you needed to learn
Hmm.
so that you could perform well. I had to make sure that if nothing else, that I was speaking positivity to myself on the way to a track meet. Once I got to the track meet, I had this ritual that I did before I actually started even my warm up routine.
Hmm.
And that really, really helped me calm down, calm those nervous jitters we all
Yep.
get as athletes. And just that speaking of positivity to myself. I heard it from my coach. I am forever grateful to my coach, but if I couldn't see it for myself,
Hmm.
I will always it was almost robotic, almost on autopilot. Like something would go wrong. I would have, a bad, jump session or a bad hurdle race. And it would become when I talked down to myself, when I
Hmm.
talked, oh, I can't, I don't know if, oh, she's really, really good. And, I worried about the things that I couldn't control. But
Definitely
when I
understand
worried
that.
about the things I could control,
Hmm.
that's when it all fell into place.
Ooh, that's dope. See, and like I said, that's one thing about something I'm offering, like the mental agility classes I'm offering for some of my athletes. That tells me how important the mindset is. Like, affirmations are something I really believe in, and when you said speaking positivity into your competition, is definitely going to affect you, because you come in with a mindset that you're going to be the best that day, then most likely you will be the best that day. It's all about what you believe in. And when the biggest thing athletes have is doubt, because we
Right.
don't know, like I said, but it all go back to what preparation. So if you prepare during the week, you'll be more confident before your competition. So with that being said, with preparation, I know one thing with me, like I said, I played college football, I had opportunity to play in the NFL, all that good stuff, whatever. But through the weeks, I know in college, I know I could have done a lot better with preparation, because it was college, I was having fun, I was starting, I was making plays. But looking hindsight 2020, if I knew what I knew now, and when I prepared what I do now, I would have been so much better. But like I said, I can't take that back. So I want to go ahead and give what I can give to the people out here today is take that serious, man. If you got a week before your next competition, study your film. Look at yourself. Figure out your weaknesses. Figure out your strong points. Figure out your opponent's weakness. Figure out their strong points. Go into detail. One person that was really good at that was Kobe Bryant, RIP, one of the greatest. He paid attention to detail and made him one of the greatest athletes to play his sport. So we come to you today to make sure that, like, athletes pay attention to your competition, and most often pay attention to yourself, because you always will be your biggest competition moving forward. So that's dope. So with that being said, let's talk about how important, like I said, that prep to the week is. So what were some of the things that you did besides getting your mindset? Probably like what were some of the things physically that you did, mentally, spiritually, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. So let's say we have Friday, Saturday competition.
Mm-hmm.
So with probably my sport, maybe a couple other sports, generally our competition is over a course of 2 days. You know, most games and things like that are, you got Friday
Mm-hmm.
night, Saturday, whatever, that's it. So for me, I had to think about things a little bit earlier. So as soon as I was done competition on a Saturday, Sunday, I'm trying to get ready for my week again because it's
Mm-hmm.
going to happen again on Friday. So if I go through my memory bank and think back on a week's prep of competition, what would happen is on Sundays were active recovery day for us. So you go out on a run, a jog, you just kind of loosen up your body,
Mm-hmm.
you relax your minds from everything that happened the previous Friday and Saturday. Monday, of course, we're talking student athletes, right? So Monday, you got classes all day and then you got practice after. And I compartmentalized. I did a good job compartmentalizing what I did at school and what I
Mm-hmm.
did after school at practice. Because, you know, sometimes we can get, especially if our coaches are at our school, we can get comfortable going to coach such and such room or
Yep.
going to coach such and such
Mm-hmm.
office and going and have, going and looking at material when you're supposed to be in class.
Right.
So I did a really good job of compartmentalizing and I was stressing the academic part because my coach did not play that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful that my coach was actually in my school because if your academics were trash or if you were borderline, he made you miss practice because you got to go do this work. You got to go study. So I made sure I didn't miss practice
Mm-hmm.
by making sure my study time was dedicated study time.
Yeah,
So
and
that
people
was
don't
my
realize that. I ain't mean to cut you off. People don't realize
mind.
that. I know, especially my high school kids, like going to college, becoming a student athlete is like a full-time job. Your
Oh, heck
time is
yeah.
so
Heck
constricted,
yeah.
and it's not your time anymore. It's their time. So you got to really find your opportunities to take advantage of the free time you do have. So yeah, make sure that y'all take advantage of the time y'all have and prepare for the things y'all need to prepare for. So
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that too because it is a full-time job. And I think I started to get that mindset again. I'm grateful for my opportunities because my work ethic through middle school and high school prepared me for college. And I had people who had gone on before me,
mhm,
competed, they came back, they gave back. So they instilled in us that work ethic at a younger age. So by the time we got prepared to go to college, we were mostly ready, right?
mhm,
We knew what we were getting into. And so I I took that seriously. I took my academics seriously. I took my practice time seriously. Now I will say I I guess innately have been somebody who with a natural talent such as mine, it's pretty high level,
mhm,
but as an individual I played small. So my good is somebody else's great. And so I sometimes fell into the trap of, well, I'm just going to do just enough, you
don't
know,
we all do that?
because I'm going to be good. I'm going to be
Mhm,
fine by the time competition gets here. And I do think we all fall into that. But if I had to be mindful. I had to be so very mindful. I think it's another thing that as athletes, as student athletes, we have to pay attention to is just being mindful of everything we do. So I was mindful of my academics during academic time. I was mindful of my athletics during practice time. By the time midweek came, generally for track, you have a hard practice on Monday.
mhm,
You have a technique day on Tuesday. You have more of a speed day on Wednesday. Thursday, it gets back to technical, but it's technical light. So you're not doing everything that you did on Tuesday, but you're still getting in that technique work. You're refining some skills. And then Friday is a travel day. So you got to get your mind right really Thursday night. So what am I eating throughout the week now?
mhm.
You know, I was good for some pizza. I was good for
Sure.
fries. I ate like, I'm not even gonna lie to the people. I ate like trash. So if I could prepare differently back then with what I know now, I would feed my body like amazingly well. Now, that's not to say that the day before competition and after day one of competition we didn't eat well, because you want those good carbs
Yeah.
in, you want that protein in, so that you can have the fuel that you need, so that when your muscles actually need to recover, you have what you need to feed it so it can work well.
Hmm.
But I made sure that I wasn't eating the pizza and the fries and the milkshakes and such, on Thursday. But I'm not gonna make you promises on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
That's what happens.
Uh,
You got that good old young metabolism. You just do it slow.
that young metabolism,
But
exactly.
people enjoy it while you can, because it's gonna slow down. It's gonna catch up with you.
It will. But that was my routine. It was, being able to compartmentalize, being able to focus in on what I needed to when I needed to,
Hmm.
making sure that I started to eat well when I know I needed to. One thing that I really did take seriously also, I did take this seriously in high school, is that I cut out fizzy drinks. I cut out sodas. I cut out like super sweet stuff. Um, for probably all of high school and most of college. I didn't, so I went 7, 8 years, no sodas. Like,
Hmm.
I would have juice from time to time, but no sodas, no extra sugar. And then I made sure that I hydrated well. So lots of water, lots of water, lots of water. Because for us, when you're in indoor season, our indoor season was from December to March. Our outdoor season for outdoor track was March to June. And then cross country. So I did cross country in the fall, indoor track in the winter, outdoor track in the spring. Cross country season was from, let's say, July, August through November. So I really was a year round athlete. I took maybe the end of June and July off,
Hmm.
or maybe
Did
July,
they make y'all
August.
take both summer sessions while y'all was in school too, or just one?
I
Since y'all had to compete in.
I didn't.
Hmm.
I I didn't. I mean, I stuck around campus, by the time after my sophomore year, I had my own place. But my freshman year, I think I went back home. My sophomore year, I went back home one session. I came back and I stayed for one session. Of course, high school, I was at home.
Hmm.
But I actually did travel a lot during the summer times with, visiting family, staying with family in different states. Um, but I didn't have to. Like, it wasn't something that my coaches were like, if you're going to be here, you have to take a class. You have
Hmm.
to do something in summer school. So that wasn't a requirement for us, thankfully. I just did it to try to get ahead, or already, or take extra classes that I was interested in.
Hmm.
But by the time competition came, competition day rolls around really quickly for us. And I focused in on whatever events I had that day. If I had a not so great competition day on Friday,
Hmm.
there's a switch that you just have to turn off, because you got to compete. You got to be 100% 2 days in a row for competition. So anything that happened on Friday, you got to get it out the door, compartmentalize it, throw it under the rug, throw it, you don't want to forget it because you want to be able to learn from it, but it cannot exist in day two, because you have bigger fish to fry on day two. You got competition, you got brand new events that come up that you have to compete in. And
Hmm.
and again, for track and field, you have trials, and you have finals. You're competing, you're giving your 100% every time you step on the track, every time you step on that runway, every time you step on that jumping pad or throwing pad. And your mind has to be able to bounce from event to event.
Hmm.
Luckily, track and field is such that, and my sport is such that, or my event specific lineup was such that they were all congruent with each other. So I was a jumper, long jump and triple jump, and I was a hurdler. I did the short hurdles versus the long hurdles in college. That's what I was recruited for. And then I did sprints and relays, kind of intermittently.
Mhm.
But my events are very congruent. If you're going to be a great hurdler, you can totally be a good jumper. If you want to be a good, if you're planning on being a great jumper, you need to go do hurdles, because while we don't jump hurdles, we run them. The technique of it all, I got to tell people that. I got to tell people, because people are like, oh, you want to jump hurdles?
No.
Yeah, no, we run them. Tangent, guys, sorry. But it it it's still, there's still a switch that happens to where your mind has to be able to bounce back from this event to that event. And I'm sure even in football, like if a person plays more than one position, you play
Yeah.
offense and you play defense, your mind has to switch quick. And you have to know, all right, I'm out here for this position. This is what I'm doing now. You get off the field, and then your coach a few plays later wants to switch you. You got to be able to turn that part of your brain on. So I just think with preparation in sports,
Mhm.
it's so very mental. It's kind of like how and you can let me know if you agree with this or not. So I liken it to fitness goals,
Mhm.
just fitness goals in general. People think that, oh, if I've been working out for three months now and I haven't seen any results. But if you ask them, well, what's your nutrition like? You get crickets, because they
Mhm.
know they
That's the big
probably
thing.
haven't been
Being in the
eating.
mirror, you gotta be able to look at yourself, and like I said, people always go on tangent and they find the excuses before they find the problem solver. So the
Mhm.
thing is, like, you gotta look yourself in the mirror, man. Everybody's not perfect. We strive to be, which is good. But I mean, we're gonna make mistakes, and it's fine with that. But
Yeah,
you learn from the mistakes. So if you're in competition, say this week you didn't eat the proper way and you didn't perform the best, why would you do the same thing again? So sometimes you gotta use common sense, like this. Change
exactly.
the habit. They say it takes 21 days to change the habit. For athletes, we don't have 21 days. So,
Right.
like you said, Carpenter, we got to change our mindset. We got to know that, all right, bet that didn't work last week. This week, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and see how that play out. And then it may give you better results, may not. You got to find what works best for you, because every athlete is different. So I can't tell you the recipe to do exactly this, isn't it? You have the greatest game of your life or the greatest competition of your life. You got to find what's best for you. And it only comes by you trying to do the right things to prepare you to be the best you possibly can be. So I definitely appreciate that advice that you give them. And going back to me, like I said, I played college football, same type of structure, year-round sport. We trained so much for football just to play 12 games during the fall. One of the hardest things I probably had to be a part of, looking back now, because when I made the transition from college to NFL, it was a lot lighter workout-wise and less stress from people being on your back forcing you to do stuff. But then you become a grown man. It's a job. So you can't go in there the same way. So in
Right.
college, like, hey, you supposed to be in the weight room while you ain't in class. If you don't make it, guess what? You getting fined. And I ain't talking about like $500. I'm talking like thousands, like $10,000, $15,000 for being late to meetings. So you got to change those.
Serious.
Mm-hmm. And it goes back to preparation. If you do things during the right part of the week, you don't have to worry about none of those issues. So you got to take every day that you're going to go ahead and get better, even in the weight room, practice, game.
Yeah.
Take those times that you do have and prepare yourself to be the best you possibly can be. And it all start with here, mentality. Tell yourself, visualize. Tell yourself, visualize. I'm gonna keep repeating it. Tell yourself and visualize. And I promise you, you will be a totally different athlete. And like I said, I want to thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedule today and doing what you had to do to come on my call. And like I said, I want you to go ahead and give a big background, who you are, how they can find you on your social media, all that good stuff. Go ahead and give them a quick little rundown. I'll put all her tags up, so don't worry about that, people. So go ahead and give them a quick little rundown who you are.
Well, thank you so much again. This was dope. Like I I mean, even in this small amount of time, I've learned a lot about what it takes even for you being in a different sport. Like that again, that mindset shift, physically what you have to do, what your experience is. So I learned something today too. So thank you.
But
Uh,
same here.
yeah. So everyone can find me on Instagram. That's where I live the most. Twitter and YouTube. If you search the LG, you'll find me on YouTube. If you just search Lashawn Gee, you'll find my channel where I post videos on mindset, discipline. Um, on Instagram at DLG underscore, on Twitter at DLG underscore. And if you are a pinner and you go to Pinterest, you can also find me there. Same name. You know why? Because if you keep it simple, make it easy for people to find you by keeping everything simple. So I have the same name everywhere. I just wrote a new book at the end of 2019. So you can even find me on Amazon. I wrote the book called The Jump That Counts, Embracing Discipline So You Can Win at What Matters. And you can get that on Amazon and Kindle. You can also get it from my website at dlg.com/shop. And I think that's it. Oh, I have a freebie for everybody. So if you want to become part of the fam, is what I call it, I have a newsletter called The Jump. I send out twice a month. I give discipline tips, encouragement. I just kind of help you get your week geared up, or I do kind of a check-in midweek to see how people's mindsets are going, especially during this time where everyone is quarantined and everyone is kind of on lockdown for the most part. This is a time where people can focus on, some new tasks and creating new habits. So you can sign up for the newsletter at bit.ly/thejumpnewsletter. And you can put that in with my information also.
Dope. And as we can see, like we said, come back from the beginning of the conversation with preparation and opportunity. So you see all the time she preparate to do all this stuff for her social media and her following. Please go check her out. She got dope content. You will learn great. And like I said, she's not pigeonholed just for females. Guys, go check it out too. You will learn a lot from her, man. I promise you, it'll be worth your while. Once again, thank you so much for checking in with me. And like I said, we'll stay in contact. Go follow my girl, man. Positive vibes everywhere, man.
Thank you so much.
Everybody. Positive vibes for everybody.
Give them. You got it.
Have a good one.
Have a great one. Bye, guys.